India, a country of more than 1 billion people, has a middle class estimated at anything between 3 and 400 million. They're probably the most economically dynamic group on the planet. They're also amongst the most aspirational. It's not surprising, then, that the Made in Italy brand already has a strong foothold in the subcontinent's upmarket shopping malls.
For Italy, and particularly for the Italian Trade Commission, the emerging market are a tremendous opportunity. Looking at the world, the crisis hasn't hit them in the same way that it has crippled some other economies.
To help seize those opportunities, Italy is making a trade visit to India in mid-December. But not just any old trade visit. Meetings are scheduled with a cross-section of leading Indian industrialists and politicians, and the Italian delegation will contain representatives from 8 Italian regions and companies from across business sectors.
We'll be going to India with some of the most extraordinary sectors of excellence of the Italian economy. And the 170 companies represent, in their own right, some of the cutting-edge technology which Italy is proud of.
We wanted to involve the Italian regions because we are aware of how diverse India is with different regions. Each region excels in a business sector, such as logistics and infrastructure, and machinery and tools. What we already export to India are tools, machinery, and Italian technology, as well as the sectors of excellence, represented by the phrase "Made in Italy," which is very sought after by the growing Indian middle class.
So the plan is that region shall talk and do business with region. One Italian sector that already has a strong foothold in India is fashion. It's an important sector. Here in the Marche region alone, it employs 22,000 people. For companies such as Tombolini Menswear, increasing exports is now seen as critical.
For us it is extremely important. We export 60% of our turnover, both in developed and emerging markets. The latter representing the most important focus of our strategy for the future. We have identified 3 big areas: China, South America, especially Brazil and Argentina, and India. It's here we are going to concentrate our resources and energy in the future.
It's family-run businesses like Tombolini's that are, according to many, the reason that regions like the Marche are weathering the economic crisis relatively well.
In this respect, our enterprises are much more stable and solid because they are tied up to the life objectives of the individual entrepreneur and not to the world of finance or market dynamics and fluctuations.
Food and beverages is another sector that does well for Italy. And although India now has its own vineyards, they still look to countries like France and Italy to provide high-quality, sought-after wines. Franco Bezzella and his wife, Can Nyong, have been making wine here in Tuscany since 2003. They produce around 50,000 bottles a year, and although so far they've sold out each year, they're aware they also have to woo the emerging markets.
Very important. There are untapped markets which are discovering the beauty of variety in wine. And what we have to offer to these markets are products which represent a surprise to the buyer. And in these markets, the buyers are new to wine, but there's so many of them that little by little, I think a lot of them will discover the magic of wine.
La competizione toscana non è sugli elementi di costo.
The way we compete as Tuscany is not through costs. We will never produce cheap products with no soul, with no social and territorial roots. That is why agriculture is so important. not only to manage the land, but also to use these products as our ambassadors to the world. Wine certainly has a great image. We export 500 million euros of wine-related products, 40% to the US. But there are new markets that are increasingly appreciating the quality of Tuscan produce.
The Italians, going on December's trade mission to the new market of India, have decided to sell themselves on quality, on family, as a nation of regions, not just because they are, but also because India is as well.
It's very important to have the opportunity to understand some particularity coming from the region. Not all the regions are the same in the same state. It happened in Piedmont, it happened in Campania, it happened in Puglia for Italy, it happens for the region of Bangalore, of New Delhi in India for sure. I've been there a couple of times. I understood that there are very strong difference to invest or to have a relationship with a state like in New Delhi that is very institutional, and something that is more commercial and technology high profile like in Bangalore.
It's not one-way traffic. The Indians too see the opportunities.
Italy is an important partner bilaterally, not only as a member of the EU. It's an important country. We have cross-investments. We have increasing trade between the two countries. And as I said, that given the strength of the industry, the manufacturing industry, the engineering, the automobiles in both our countries, and some competitive advantages which India has in pharmaceuticals, in IT, in communications, it could be a mutually rewarding engagement. No country would engage, particularly business people, in such large numbers, unless and until they see the potential and the benefits.
For Italy, India is a way not only to get through the economic crisis, but a place to expand in the future. For India, the Italian visit is further confirmation that they're now firmly ensconced at the economic top table.